sometimes it just pays off. I went out on a whim, had you know, I had nowhere to go in particular, drove up the A1, got stuck in a bit of traffic, turned off just before St Neots, and I'm in a place called it's either Little Barford or Great Barford, and believe it or not, I see a sign for saying historic church, and I found a redundant church, St Denys it is. Sorry about the wind, I don't think you can still hear me, but it doesn't open until 11 o'clock, but I'm gonna have a walk around the grounds. I mean, it might be open on the off chance, you never know your luck, do you? And it's this church is under the care of the church's I can't say that word, Conservation Trust, that's where it is. And well, I've had to park. I don't know whether I'm allowed to or not, but I won't be here long. But there is a load of redundant properties here as well, loads of houses and odds and sods and barns, and it'd be a bit of a urban explorer's dream coming around here, to be honest with you. But then there is a few residents with some big ass dogs that I can hear barking away, so maybe not. Anyway, I'm going to get to this church, have a look, see whether I can get in. If not, I might amble back to the car, go and sit in there, have a cup of coffee, and then come back in about an hour. Do you know, I just don't know how that one has managed to slip under the radar. I mean, I'm only less than, I don't know, probably about 20 miles away from Stevenage, so it's only up the road from me, but I've never come across this one, and I look through lists all the time of redundant churches and ruins and things, and I don't know how this has managed to slip under the radar. Like I say, if it weren't for that traffic jam and me turning off and just driving down this road and seeing a sign for the historic church, I wouldn't have even known it was here. But sometimes I guess things are meant to be. Anyway, you can see that the Conservation Trust is doing a very good job. I don't know whether any of my footage showed, but there's an area of the church that is having restoration done right now, and there's scaffolding there and lots of building stuff to you know, to carry on with the maintenance. You know what I'm trying to get at. My words are getting a fucking muddle again, aren't they? There's a lot of building work going on that church, and it's all because of the Conservation Trust and donations that people are giving. I have taken one of the leaflets about the church. I have left a donation, of course. Well, I think you have to, because you don't want to see something like that going to ruin. But it is a grade, is it grade 2 or grade 1 listed building that now, so at least it's going to be there for a good long while to come. I wanted to walk around the area. There seems to be some trails going off beside the church which could take you through some woodlands and farmers' fields and stuff, but because of where I've parked, I'm a bit paranoid about leaving the car there, so I'm going to go and get that. I'm going to have my drink, and then I'm going to go and find somewhere else to just go for a walk now. I think I'll find some trail somewhere just to finish up my steps, and there's a bit of a gap in the weather at the minute as well, so hopefully it will hold off until I've done my walk. Now, I've been to this one before. This is St Peter's Church in Thamesford. Been here a couple of times before actually, but it's always been closed. Now, I can see an open door, and I know it's a Sunday morning, so there might be something going on, but on the services sheet, they've got their services happening at other sites, so hopefully this might be empty and I can have a quick nosy around, and that'll be another one ticked off my list, because I've been quite eager to get into here. Okay, well, I take it back. The first door on the outside is open, the one that's meant to stop the birds getting in, that's open, but the internal door to get you into the church itself, nope, that's still locked up. That's such a shame. I really can't see why they can't leave this one open, because this is, well, it's off the beaten track as well. It's a little village called Thamesford. There's not a lot here, there's not a lot of trouble here, it's very quiet, so surely they could get away with leaving this one open a little bit longer. Never mind, I shall try again another day. Now, I don't know about anybody else, but for me, because I'm alone at the weekends, I do struggle with finding things to do to keep myself occupied. I mean, okay, it was lovely to get up to Norfolk yesterday. That was nice. Don't get me wrong, but it took a bit of planning before I actually went to do it, and I can't afford to keep doing that every weekend. So on a normal weekend, I just have to try and find something to do by myself, which can be relatively difficult, or it can be for me. I mean, it might be different for other people, but over the years I've always had people with me, a partner or my wife with me, so weekends, activities have always been okay. But now I'm on my own and I'm living the way that I do, then trying to keep myself occupied at the weekend can become increasingly difficult. Obviously there are places to visit, but I've done most of the things in the local area, so I have to go a bit further out now, but I can't keep doing that because of financial problems. But I'm just out on a walk at the minute, and I'm just thinking to myself how difficult it is becoming to keep myself busy at weekends. Not just to make the YouTube videos, because that's just me making a log of what I do, but in the great scheme of things, doing something at the weekend to keep my mind busy, keep me walking, you know, keep me occupied, keep me sane, is becoming more and more difficult to do, you know. I'm sure if there's anyone in the same boat as me, they might understand. Unless you're that adjusted to being on your own, then, you know, you've made it work. I mean, I like to get out and do stuff. I don't like to sit about and watch TV, whether I'm staying at my son's house or back in my van. I have to be doing something, otherwise I'll sit there and watch TV, my eyes will get heavy and I'll start to fall asleep, and then I'll have a crap night's sleep the next night, and it's just a vicious circle of well, it's awful. So what I'm saying is, I like to get out and about, I like to keep active, especially since I've been on these videos and doing the weight loss journey. I need to keep active all the time, just like I said, for my own sanity and for the weight loss. But it is getting more and more difficult to find places to go. If you got any advice on that, then get in touch, let me know. Well, I see this one from the road. I'm out in a village called Iworth, I think, which is just up the road from Dunton, near Biggleswade. I've visited Dunton Church before. This one was a bit further up, and I had to drive up a right dirt track to actually get to it, but unfortunately it's locked up, isn't it? It's a shame. I've never seen one like this neither, with the it's like a little dome bell tower. That's quite smart, it does. I'm just going to have a look at there's a pedestrian gate. I'm going to see if there's any signs around to tell me what the name of this place is, because I haven't got a clue. Well, there you go. It's called the All Saints Church in Iworth, and the clip that I've just shown before this one of that dirt track, that's the one that I had to drive up to get up to the little car park that's just outside, and my car certainly didn't like that. I was hitting the engine cover on the centre bit here, but it got there. It was all right. Just have to be careful that I don't get stuck in any mud, because right up where I am, one of the bays next to me, well, the one right next to me actually, is just all water and slop, so you wouldn't want to park there and get stuck, because there's no one around here that'll tow you out, I shouldn't think. There is a few properties, a few houses about, and what looks like a farm just over there, but everyone that's driven through the village as well, they've all turned their head and looked at me as I was walking down the footpath down the other side of the church. It was like, what's he doing, what's he up to, you know? You could almost see what they were thinking. But these places are here to be explored, aren't they? Anyway, I think I'm going to stop here for a bit, and I might fire up my Jetboil. Yeah, let's do that. There we are, chicken noodles with a little bit of cheese, out in the middle of nowhere, next to a church. Fantastic. you know, it's amazing who you bump into when you're out and about, right? Now, I was just sat at that church having those noodles, and someone asked me if I was okay. It was a bloke and his wife. Turns out he was a farmer in the area, and his wife used to be the church warden. Now, apparently that church is look at the camera moving. Apparently that church is riddled with history, but you can't get in there because it's so remote, so they like to keep it locked up unless there's something happening, which is fair enough. I get that. But apparently there's some things in there. I think Mary Queen of Scots has been there. Oliver Cromwell was there. Apparently there's a bit of folklore as well about some woman that had a box, and it was filled up with gold coins, and she was about to get mugged. So what she done, she sat on these gold coins and covered it, you know, covered the box with her dress. And apparently after the robbers done a Burton, she buried the coins somewhere in that field. But the farmer just told me he's been ploughing that field for years and years and years, doing it a little bit deeper every time, but never found anything. So, but it's quite interesting. But apparently the church is getting used less and less. People are just only showing up to go for a wedding or have their child, you know, christened, but other than that they're not showing up for the services. And you know, there's quite a bit of money that needs to be spent on it. It needs a lot of work, and they've got a problem with bats. Now, bats are protected. You're not allowed to get them out. You're not allowed to be moved on. You know, you've just got to do what you can to manage the situation, cleaning up behind them, making sure that the roof and everything is okay. He did just tell me that there is another church that they visited in Norfolk actually, and what they had done for their bat problem was install bat boxes on the outside of their church, so that way the bats had somewhere to go rather than going into the church and tucking themselves away in the roof, which is a good idea. But I didn't realise how much problems the bats actually cause, to be honest with you. I just thought it was they were up in the ceiling and you left them to it, but after hearing what they do, you know, the damage they can cause, it's can be a bit of a nuisance. But it is such a shame, and I don't know what it is with, I mean, I'm not religious at all, but I don't know why these churches keep closing down. And there's a lot of people, there's a few people I know that are very, I don't know whether this is anything to do with what I'm about to say, right, but I've got some friends who are very left wing, and that they continuously attack Christians, as in, you know, there's always jokes, memes attacking the Christian faith, but never any other faith. Now, have the left wing got a problem with Christianity or something? It's a, you know, what am I missing here? Like I say, I'm not educated on it enough to make that, you know, assumption, but it just feels to me that there's a lot of people in this country, don't know about the rest of the world, but in this country there's a lot of people that seem to be attacking Christianity, and people are falling away from it, and then these buildings are, you know, becoming redundant and dormant, and I find that quite unfortunate. But I will never understand, like I say, from the people that do attack Christianity, why is it just Christianity that gets attacked when it's, you know, there's a million other faiths around the world, but they won't say anything bad about them, you know, especially with the left-wing people, because they're all, you know, they're all meant to be inclusive and all into this diversity malarkey, which is fair enough, which I get completely. So why only attack one religion? Why not everything else? Like I say, I don't know. And that is my rant for today, because, well, I've allowed myself one. Anyway, let's carry on, see what else I can find today. Okay, after a long afternoon driving around trying to find somewhere to walk with absolutely no success, I come back into Stevenage, got myself a drink, drove out to Aston, and now I'm in St Mary's Church again. I'm not going to film all of it because I've done this a couple of times now, but I'm going to finish out my day just here. Anyway, What are my final thoughts? This weekend has been a very good weekend, especially yesterday, especially all that time that I spent in Norfolk. The viewing of those redundant churches, the church ruins, was fantastic. This morning was really good as well, getting up to that redundant church, St Denis was it, in Little Barford, which was really good as well. I enjoyed that a lot. Then, unfortunately, what begins to happen is the fact that I have nowhere else to go. So I hop into the car. As I said, I do a bit of driving around, hoping to find some inspiration or a place to stop and go for a walk. But that never happened today. And that brought me down a level today. That just gets your mind working overtime. You don't know what to do, you know, you don't want to be coming across all depressing and horrible and, you know, down in the dumps. But this afternoon definitely had negative effect on my own mental health. I think it's because not just finding somewhere to go, but being on my own as well, lost in your own thoughts. Sometimes I think that can't be very good for you. You know, all right, I have got a couple of people that I message regularly. You know, I've got my friend Dave from school that often communicates with me about places to go, which is brilliant. And Dave, thanks for that, mate. That really does help. You know, just having that person to communicate with is really helpful. But this afternoon has definitely been a bit of struggle for me. Mind plays tricks on you. You know, I don't want to turn this into a really negative video or YouTube channel. You know, I'm trying to lose weight and be inspiring and inspire people to get out there and walk. But I'm also being very transparent as well, letting you know how certain situations make me feel. And that's how I felt this afternoon. So anyway, I'm going to move on now. I'm going to leave this church. And I'm going to finish off my steps just having a walk around the local village. So I'm going to leave it here, but I'll tap some B-roll on the end for you. So thank you for watching me. Please give me a like and a subscribe. And if you can take a moment to leave me a comment, that would be awesome. And I shall catch you all again very soon.